Hey everybody. Looks like we are set to go here. I know it's going to take people a minute to get in. Watching an area of interest right now, and I wanted to pop up and let you know what I'm seeing. First off, I have the blue line drawn there. What is that? That's the front. So that's where the effective cold front is right now. Behind that, a lot of rain, a lot of lightning, all that kind of stuff, but we're not seeing the threat. Behind that line, your threat for tornadoes is much lower. So the problem is we have a couple of these cells that are forming right along and just ahead of that boundary now. This one's right over the radar site. Let's go ahead. I'll clear this off. I'm going to show you what brought me here. There's a couple little areas here. This around Slagle toward Hicks. You can see how I'll show you how this has moved in the last little bit and kind of how this has evolved. You see that? That's a little notch. It's a little nub right there that I don't like. That's right where the front is. So this would be, if we got something there, that's more of a spin up along the boundary itself. But we have that cell to the south that's merging in with that front. So it's possible we could see a quick spin up out of this, and it's close to the radar, so we'll be able to see it in real time if it were to happen, or as close to real time as possible. Basically, these scans are coming in every 2 to 4 minutes, so you don't want to totally depend on that. But right along 28 out there, right north of the radar site there on base, right near Hicks Crossing, should be north of LeCamp, but that area near Simpson. At the very least, I would not be stunned to see some strong winds out of this. So I'm just, going to check and see what we have with, all the little tools we have here. But at this point, nothing that I'm seeing on the ground or anything, but it was enough to pop me on here because, again, I'm kind of hanging out, just waiting for something that at least bears watching. And what I'm seeing right now with that was that bared watching. So not seeing a real deep rotation, deep mesocyclone with this thing, but getting into the low levels. I was talking about this earlier. Wouldn't it be nice to see a couple 100 feet up into a storm? Well, in this case, we can't. So this is storm relative. Let me see if the base shows that better. Yeah, I think that might even show that a little better. Right there along 28 there, we are, radar sites here, we're at 150 feet. So this low-level rotation, it's not tight, it's not a couplet, it's not gate to gate where it's like we're seeing a tornado with that kind of spin. There is some low-level rotation in this storm, however, and what I'll do here, let me see something. Oops. All right, so I'm going to go try out, I'm going to look at the Shreveport site. Yeah, see, I'm not seeing anything up there. So this is not some deep sustained storm. It looks like junk from Shreveport. But right over the radar, we're actually seeing the low level of this storm, and it looks pretty interesting. Also, again, we have these cells that are forming out over eastern Beauregard Parish. Lots of lightning with all this stuff. Loud storms, even the ones behind the front. Like I said, they can still produce hail, though the signal I've seen so far is not for very large hail. 1,462 lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes. We expanded out, and let's not go too far and get too crazy here, but about 3,000 strikes. Tornado warning, confirmed tornadoes up there in northeast Mississippi. My goodness, I hadn't even noticed that. I'm so locked in tunnel vision on what we're doing down here that I hadn't seen that. But that looked like several different tornadoes going on up into Mississippi. And I'm looking on my radar scope app here just to see a little closer view on this velocity. I can get some high res stuff here. And yeah, just south of Simpson, that area, that's where this thing's wrapping up a little bit. But again, it's not a tornado warning. It's just something that caught my interest, and I wanted to jump on here and say that I see it. There it is right there, very visible, but it's not really tight there. So that's right at the radar. If we saw this thing, it would basically be like, if we had a tornado here, then that green would be there, that red would be there. I mean, it would be just right there like that. So to see them spaced out like that, that's not as concerning to me. Possibly some strong winds along 28 with this, 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts, totally possible. But while we are monitoring this, and when I say we, I mean me and Tom, but I also mean the National Weather Service. I'm looking at their chat. They're monitoring this. So it is something we have a lot of eyes on it. So if something does happen, you're going to be the first to know. Well, not the first maybe, but close. All right, so Yeah, so other than that, the tornado watch continues until midnight. I really think Sabine and Natchitoches Parish are out of the threat, even though you're still in the watch. Takes them a while. They usually like to knock these counties and parishes off in blocks like that. So I don't think we're going to. I don't think we're going to see the. I mean, we could see these western parishes and counties go pretty soon, but still some storms out there. So after the worst of this passes by, we're still going to have that threat. The lightning in Natchitoches is crazy. Well, let's go look at the camera. How about that? We can do this. That's that. This is okay. This is Natchitoches. This is looking. Which way did I have this pointed? Let me put. Oh, yeah, I'll bet you we're going to see plenty of it. I mean, it doesn't matter really, I guess, which way we're looking with this thing so close. Stations, Natchitoches, presets. Let's go with the northwest view. Okay, we're pretty much on that. So yeah, this is Natchitoches. Notice this, westerly winds. So we have westerly winds aloft. We have the jet stream coming in across from the west or the southwest. So when you have westerly winds at the surface, southwesterly winds, something like, I mean, you have no wind shear. So if you have westerly winds at the surface, westerly winds aloft, you're not seeing any turning with that. You have speed shear, so you can still get these supercells, you can still get these hail producers, and you're going to get a lot of lightning out of these. But a 63-degree temp with a dew point of 62 in this setup is not going to be favorable for tornadoes. And again, no one's complaining. I'm going to take a look one more time at future track here. But yeah, that's. I wish we had sound on that. I'll bet that thing is rocking and rolling. So next few hours, storms move through. Front clears the river probably around midnight, and it really looks like this kind of, according to this one at least, it's kind of detaching from the forcing a little bit, I guess, and we're not going to be seeing. It looks like probably the severe threat's going to drop off a bit as this heads toward the southeast as this front moves through. So only probably another 3 or 4 hours where we're dealing with this. That tornado watch goes until midnight for a few of our parishes. Let's go take a look at who's under it. LaSalle, Grant, Wynn, Natchitoches, Sabine, yes, but you know my feelings on that. Vernon and Beauregard, you're also in it, and then some counties out in Texas that should be out pretty soon. Let's take one more look here, and then I'll go because I see the lightning all over the camera. Again, I'll come on live too because I'm not interrupting programming, and because I know it's really loud in some of these spots, and you're like, what the heck's going on? So it's like, why is he not live? It's this loud and crazy and chaotic here. Well, if it's like 35-mile-an-hour winds and it's really loud, that's not something that, you don't need a live update for that. Your life's not in danger. Now, it could if lightning hits, something, yes, of course. But if that were the case and I were live every time there were lightning here, I'd be live the entire summer. Let's see, that little area near Clifton. There's our area near Hicks. Let me just watch it in motion. But that's going to be our main concern, though, these little kind of eddies, these little swirls right along that front. Now, that front is right about to move across the radar site. In fact, let me see what our temp is at the Leesville cameras down here. So I'll bet that front's right on through there, and I'll bet you our temperature's dropped. It says 67 over 66 on the back end, but that thing actually, I don't know if that updates as fast as where I have it coming out to the website. So I'm going to look at that now. It is much cooler, again, 63 with a dew point of 62 in Natchitoches. And Leesville, yeah, it's 67 over 66, so that is right. But the winds have turned to the west, or to the north now, and so that's down here. So that's right behind that front. And 67 degrees with a dew point of 66, you could still get severe weather. That wind shift is the big key. And we have that elevated instability, so we still have that threat for severe weather. That elevated instability, I'm not saying it's higher than it was earlier. I'm saying it's not based from the ground. It's based from thousands of feet above the ground. So we still get the thunderstorms. It's just kind of a weird deal, I know, but we don't have them based at the surface. So with that stable layer near the surface, we don't get tornadoes behind that front, and we don't get the strong damaging wind gusts as well. West Alexandria or West Rapides Parish toward Boyce, you are hearing that thunder roll up on you right now. Here's the lightning. It is everywhere. Big time light show coming in. We're all going to see that. We're going to have these storms working from the southwest to the northeast up the line. And the whole line is going to just push on to the east. So that shows you right here the last hour of data. The storms are just running right along that running board of the front, but the front is ever so slowly moving toward the east. And you can see here, there's your front. Real easy to look at on base velocity. If you have radar scope, go put it on base velocity. When this thing passes you, that's when your severe threat really starts to come down, at least on the tornadoes and damaging wind. There it goes, pressing on to the east. And you can see it very closely, very, very quickly there. You can see, again, there's that little, that's why I came on right there. That's the stuff I look for. Right near the radar site, boom. I don't think anything happened. I didn't see anything drop on the correlation coefficient. I didn't see debris or anything, but it was something that I wanted to at least get you an update on. The front is now just pushing down through Lena, probably up there right around Boise Cascade, probably about mile marker 9, probably about 102 up that way. So that's where that is on 49. It's coming right across the radar side out on base and right through Rose Pine. So western Beauregard, western Vernon, you are looking much better, even though it's going to be loud for a while. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be waiting for some warnings, or if I see something like that, I'll pop on here. But hey, we've got Cenla weather merch. I see that it's on the website. We have a merch tab. Our other business is printing t-shirts too, so it's really easy for me to just go print them for you. I can have them out quick. All right. When can you go home to Elmer from Pineville? You know, it's going to storm. That's the thing. When I talk about the severe threat going away or reducing to where it's just a hail threat, I mean, if you're comfortable driving in very heavy rainfall, lots of lightning, and maybe some small to medium-sized hail, like up to quarters or something, you can go after this line right here moves through. So that's probably about an hour for Alexandria. I think that front will move through at about 9 o'clock. I was tracking it at about 18 to 20 miles per hour. So let's pause this and see how far we are here in town. Yeah, about an hour away. So after that passes through, the game does change just a little bit. But I will be sitting here watching it all. I'll let you know what I see if there's something interesting, because it's Saturday evening. I left my wife and my daughter out in Texas. I'm home alone. I have nothing else to do but talk to you. So this could be fun, especially if we aren't talking about crazy crisis level weather here, because it looks like so far, so good. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Hopefully not as much as I thought I was going to see you, but you know me, I'll just pop on. See ya.
No matter the weather, Alexandria Emergency Hospital is always here for you. Rain or shine, our doors are open 24/7 to provide the care you and your loved ones need fast. Every second counts, and Alexandria Emergency Hospital is here to help you through any storm.